JJJinks!
Truck stop!
Happy National Knife Day, everyone! JJJinks here to celebrate with you. I've decided to do a video on one of my favorite knives. The Eagle Eye by Frost Cutlery. Now, I know what you're thinking. JJJinks, how could this be your favorite knife? Well, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm all about the gas station truck stop type of deals. Now, the Eagle Eye has a bit of a history to it. This is one of those knives that you see on the Cutlery Corner network, which is that knife show on TV.
That's on the money, folks. It's CCM 105484. This set, folks. All right, this is the Eagle Eye. We've been manufacturing the Eagle Eye, well, I guess it's probably 40 years now. It's a long, long time. This is the largest version. It's the 5-inch frame.
It's often included in those giant bundle deals that people buy to sell this crap at flea markets, basically. I'd also like to dedicate this video to the man himself, Jim Frost, who I learned in looking up some stuff for this video actually passed away this year, sadly. He died in January from complications due to COVID. Tough break. I've collected quite a few of these over the years, so I wanted to show off my collection and take a dive back into the past to the origins of Frost Cutlery and show a couple examples of Eagle Eyes that are actually not that terrible. At some point, he abandoned making good knives and instead cranked out tons of these cheap ones to fill that flea market and load up our gas stations with the knives that we all know and love. The anatomy of the Eagle Eye is all riveted construction with usually plastic handles with a bunch of holes in them. It is a simple back lock. You got jimping that rises up to this long sloping spine and a very pointy end. Usually they're half serrated, but I have some examples that are not. But the most distinguishing feature is the cutout in the blade, which kind of makes it look like an angry eagle, or as my friends and I noted a few years ago maybe, I'm not sure how long ago it was, the Beetlejuice knife, because it looks like this. So I will always refer to them as the Beetlejuice knife, but really they are the Eagle Eye. Now this is the Eagle Eye Model 3. The regular Eagle Eye is the same thing, but just tinier. See, it's got the same eagle head in the background of the photo. It's got the same basic anatomy. And here you can see the very handsome Frost Cutlery logo, which is an eagle. So you might be thinking, well, what about the Eagle Eye 2? You know, you have the Eagle Eye 3. Surely there's something in between, I guess? You know, I'm actually not sure. I didn't really research that. But I do have some that are in between in size. Here's a couple of examples. I'll start with this one. It's the medium-sized Eagle Eye, I suppose. This particular one has a handle with a neat stripy, wavy pattern in it. The holes kind of look like they could be hearts, and they make these in a couple of different colors. I happen to have the dark red, the black and burgundy version, but I've also seen them with I want to say like a teal color, and there are probably many others. This one does not have a serrated blade, and the Eagle Eye cutout is actually a little bit closer to the spine of the blade compared to the other ones. There's just less metal there. This other one, I don't think it's technically an Eagle Eye because the handle's different, so it sort of gets a different name, but it's pretty much the same knife. I mean, come on. So yeah, the ergonomics on this blue one are a little bit different, and it's also got, instead of Frost Cutlery, Tack Assault, which is sold by Frost Cutlery. It's also got a finger choil up here, so that's another difference. And I said it's got a blue handle, but it's really blue with some black stuff in it. Leftover plastic that made it into the extruder, I guess. I don't know. I've actually got 2 purple ones. This black one came out of one of those pop cans, the plastic thing that has like hundreds of knives in them. It's made by Frost Cutlery, and it's an eagle eye. Got another black one. Got another black one. Got another black one. Now this one is a little bit different. I actually got this from a Love's gas station, I think somewhere near in and around the Midwest. And it doesn't say Frost Cutlery, it says Master USA. But these are actually made by Frost Cutlery. Now this one's got a wood grain look to it, but it is not made of wood. It's just plastic with kind of a decal type of deal going on. But otherwise, it's an eagle eye. Just this collection alone looks like something that you would see on the Cutlery Corner network. I would pay $10 for this. But this is probably my favorite of the eagle eyes. It's a little one that says Deer Hunter. Why is it my favorite? Watch this.
Oh, he put those deer hunters in there for you too also, Mountain Man. Those little eagle eyes, I'll pull one of them out there.
Let me look at that.
And there's 12 of them to a case, but I tell you what, since you're here, we'll let you have that one, and our display's only going to be 11.
Hey,
all right, so you got all
this
you got
is lightweight. You'll hardly know what's in your pocket. Look yonder. That is beautiful. It's white too. All ladies need one of these too.
You are a pro already there,
oh,
sir.
Yeah. Hey, I got this, y'all. Looky here now. See if well, I'm gonna stick it back in that wood over here.
Well, we're just gonna let you have that one now when I give you a knife.
Hey, it's going in my pocket, buddy.
I'd like to think that this is the exact deer hunter that guy had. Then I could be as cool as him. I'm gonna show off some more eagle eyes, but before I do, let's talk a little bit more about the history of the company. Jim Frost had a job as a chemical plant technician, and he was a pocket knife collector, and once in a while he would sell pocket knives to his buddies. His sales actually began to grow, and he started to sell them out of his trunk, and then out of his garage, and then out of a storefront, and then out of 4 storefronts. It just kind of snowballed and grew. And it got to the point where he started to contract manufacture knives bearing his name. So these were knives made by another company, just put a stamp on it, and it's your brand. As the company grew and it became Frost Cutlery, he started outsourcing a little more, and in strange ways too. For example, you can get a knife that has German steel, but it's made in Japan. Or you can get a knife that's made with Japanese steel, but it's made in Pakistan. So there are these little cost-cutting measures where the materials were never compromised. It was just the manufacturer, the imports maybe. And then it got to a point where, well, here we are. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I really enjoyed these knives. But I also wanted to go back and look at some of the older ones. Now, here's one that I've showed off before. This is much older, maybe from the 90s. I'm actually not sure how to tell when these were made. An eagle eye made using German steel. See? German stainless steel. But the knife itself is made in Pakistan. I got this knife from an estate sale online, eBay, and you can immediately see that the quality is very much better. For one thing, it's a proper backlocked folding knife with bone scales, polished bolsters, and even the blade is highly polished, and the action is quite smooth. Fit and finish wise, you know, there ain't no gaps. It could be polished a little more, perhaps, but you know, this is on par with some case knives I have, just in terms of how it looks. Now, I have read about some stories of people with these early Frost Cutlery knives where if you get it wet, the dye comes off and stains your clothes. So, you know, cost-cutting measures proliferated, to be sure. I guess this one ought to go into the medium-sized collection. But going back even further, Frost Cutlery used to make these little boxed collections. This one has the mini eagle eye with a handsome eagle emblazoned on the fake leather box. When you open it up, yeah, you can see how old it is just by how faded the printing is on the back fabric. And we've got ourselves a small little collection of eagle eye knives. Now, a couple things about this case. There were a variety of them. Each one came with 4 with different handle materials, but otherwise they were all the same knife. So there are at least 3 different sets of the mini eagle eyes that I know of. This is the only one that I've got. And there are also different types of knives. The eagle eye, you know, that's the focus of this video. So there are other types that you can also get in these little clamshell collections. The other thing is that these are actually numbered. Let me bust one out for you. So here you can see written on the blade, it says Mini Eagle Eye, a nice scripted font. It's got a little itty bitty eagle for the Frost Cutlery logo, and it's numbered 380. This is a matching set, they're all 380. And for the steel type, it's surgical steel, which really doesn't mean anything. This is a Japanese-made knife. And you also got a little loop in the back for your lanyard, if you wanted to, I don't know, put this on your keychain or something. I want to pay a little bit of attention to the scale material. This is a color combination, red, green, and yellow laminated wood. So you basically stain wood, these different colors, stack them up, glue it together, and then you can shave it down and you get this neat look. This was named Frostwood by Jim Frost. He made a lot of knives using Frostwood. This is one of the ittiest bittiest ones that I've seen, but I just think it's interesting that, like, I see this kind of multicolored scale material, you know, here and there, and I was like, oh, that's Frostwood. It always reminds me of, yeah, Frost Cutlery. No gaps. Good, oh yeah, these little knives are pretty well made, actually. Now the other ones, this one's made out of a bone material with a few little jigs, what do they call that? Jigging, right? A few scratches through it, basically. This one's been stained red with the same jigging pattern. This one's a little bit of a different color, a little bit of a different jigging pattern. These neat little cases are not too difficult to find. There are several of them on eBay at any given time, but the costs vary. They can go from $40 up to a few hundred, depending on the condition and the knowledge of the person selling it. Just because it's listed for a lot doesn't mean it's going to sell for a lot. I paid $50 for this one. I think that's a fair price. That's $12.50 a knife. They're old. I don't know if 380 is a large or a small number for this series. I'm guessing it's pretty high up there. I kind of wonder what happened to the 001 set. I like to think that somewhere there's a vault that has a whole bunch of these for the very first ones to come off the line, you know. Now, the other thing that I like about these cheapo knives is the Cutlery Corner network itself. Well, specifically the cast. We got a little bit of a preview when we had a look at the Deer Hunter reviewed by a mountain man. But all the people involved are just generally kind of happy-go-lucky, goofy people that just kind of say and do funny things.
Well, let's see. What can you do with this? Wow. Whoa! Whoa!
We got some nighttime believers, knife-time believers.
You know, they're there to tell you that they'll sell you a big pile of these for like $100, but it's really worth like $2,000.
We've got a good one right here. We've got $1,400+ worth of merchandise we're going to have go out the door to you, at least we hope. And we've got a big time special, $269 coming your way, folks. $298 price tag. Now we're going to have right at almost $2,000 worth of merchandise.
And it's like, if that were true, why don't you just sell them yourself for $2,000, right? And it's all done live. So sometimes they screw up.
And the nice thing about these practice katanas, oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt big time.
And that's what always kept me watching. I wanted to catch them making mistakes, saying weird things. Sometimes they just have conversations with each other like, shouldn't you be talking about this off camera? It's those little fascinating things that keep me watching. A couple more things I wanted to say before I wrapped this up. Thought had occurred to me when I was looking at this box. I wonder what mountain that is. So I spent probably about an hour looking at Google search images of like stock photos of famous mountains from around the world and just kind of looking at it side by side with this one. But I couldn't find any matches. I didn't bother checking for the Eagle Eye one box because that just looks so generic. There's no notable features in this photo. It could be the Southwest, it could be the Midwest, it could be Northern California, it could be Southern California, it could be India, I don't know. This looks like something a little more specific and prominent. Like, is that a waterfall in there? How distant are these mountain peaks compared to this one? Are these things jutting out different mountain peaks, or just, you know what? I just don't know. And so much of it's blocked from the text and from the knife and from the eagle that it just makes it more of a challenge to find the right mountain. So what I ended up doing after a while is I read up about Jim Frost and like, where is he from? Where was his original factory? My thought process was thinking about like Ozark Trail for Walmart. Walmart's based out of that kind of region of the country, so calling their line Ozark Trail makes sense. Well, it turns out that Frost Cutlery and Jim Frost have deep roots in the eastern Tennessee region of the United States, which means the Smoky Mountains. Perfect. I just have to look at all of the Smoky Mountains until I find this one, right? Oh. Oh, it turns out there's a lot of Smoky Mountains. Well, I did find one that I thought was a fairly close possible match, based on just the parts that jut out, and I'm not sure if that's a waterfall, I don't know what's going on there, and just the basic shape of this peak. The problem is that it also depends on the angle the photo was shot from, the direction, the time of day, and the time of year. Because that same photo that I thought might look kind of close to this one looks like this half the year. So who knows? And the other problem is that nobody really cares enough to look besides me. So there are no message boards, no prior research, nobody asking that question to help me find this mountain. So I guess the quest will continue. Well, now that Jim Frost has passed on to the foundry in the sky, what does the future hold for Frost Cutlery? Will they go back to their roots and start making better quality knives that more people might buy in the knife community? Will they stick to the gas station flea market knives? Or will they continue with their middle-of-the-road knives like Hen and Rooster, Steel Warrior, Ocoee River, Cutlery, and all those other ones? You know, all of the above? I don't know, but I don't think it matters, because this is quite a legacy that I would be proud of. I mean, people make fun of them, people think they're crap, but it is a legacy nonetheless.
Dish Network and Direct Network and YouTube, and then our website.
How the hell did he do that?